According to Statista.com, in 2017, there were 402 fatal victims of police shootings. 223 were black. 179 were Hispanic. According to Children's.com, since 2014, firearms have been the instrument for 88% of teenage homicides in this country. So now that I have your attention, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tyrell Morant from East New York, Brooklyn. The officer earlier said everything is about making a decision, making a choice. I had the privilege and the honor these last couple of months to get to know you all and experience this journey of this basketball league. Each of you have a unique talent, whether it's being a basketball player, whether it's being a basketball coach, whether it's being an engineer, a doctor, a physician. Each of you have a unique purpose to change this community. It all starts with a decision, right? My 15-year-old nephew on Friday night in Far Rockaway, Queens, decided to pull out a firearm and shoot in the crowd. As a result, he was gunned down, thrown his life away. Over what? A decision. We each make decisions every day about the path we want to go on, the life we want to live. When we're inside school, whether we want to take the teacher serious or if we want to be a dickhead and joke around and fool around, we make a decision on how the world interprets us and people that look like us, about how we carry ourselves socially, and then we let the media narrate our story and portray us as things that we're not. We make choices as servicemen and servicewomen, whether we want to give somebody a hard time or we want to get a chance to understand what they may be dealing with. Everybody here has a potential. It starts with being accountable for your greatness. See, I had a decision when I was 17 years old. Continue gangbanging in East New York, causing my mother stress, heartache, already lost 3 friends to the streets, follow that same narrative because I didn't see no example of success. Being a football player or a basketball player didn't seem realistic because who from East New York actually was successful in doing that? Or you know what, I'm gonna create my own way. Be the first. Not be another statistic, but be a first from my community so that people younger than me can actually look up to, and you know what, I wanna be like him. Instead of read about my story on the news, read about, oh, he coulda, shoulda, woulda. No, he's doing. I watch each of you and I see myself. I see a lot of individuals out there that don't have a platform like this basketball league to change their lives. We each know individuals that could benefit from this basketball league, but they're making a decision to shoot dice, roll that next blunt, disrespect the female on social media, degrade her body, her worth, walk out our parents' household whenever we want to. But at that same time, that decision is affecting people like him, his age, because why? It gets harder and harder and harder. It becomes harder for these servicemen and women to actually want to protect our communities because the example they see of us, we ignorant, we hard-headed, we don't listen, no sense of authority. You know how it goes. How many people actually come to Brownsville? Not many. But I commend each of you every day for actually waking up and making a decision to do something different with your life. If basketball is what you want to do, instead of you being in your house playing video games, how many nights are you outside actually putting up jump shots? How many times you can count on your hand the free throws you missed in a week? How many times are you actually working on your left because you go with your right so easy? How many times are you actually receiving the coaching, the feedback that's being given? How committed are you to your greatness? It don't just start when you pick up a basketball. That's easy. Anybody can pick up a basketball and make a couple of shots. Your greatness is what you do when you're not on the court. That's when your legacy and your stardom begins. I'm so grateful to be a part of this because I honestly never thought there'd be a day in my life where I could actually sit next to servicemen and women. So I graciously thank you for listening. Because it's not often like people like us get a chance to have dialogue, build a sense of community, love. I don't believe all cops are bad. I'd be lying if I did. But I do believe there's a disconnect somewhere. And it starts with everybody in this room. This basketball league should not just be in Brownsville. This is needed in the world. It's bigger than basketball. Bigger than basketball. I literally, who would have thought? My 15-year-old nephew wanted to be a basketball player, right? He decided, nah, I don't want to shoot. I don't want to put up buckets. I don't want to put the work in. You know what Iverson said? Practice. He didn't want to put the work in, but he did decide to give his life away. For what? 15 years old, now he's paralyzed for the rest of his life. He was arraigned today, charged on damn near 8 felony charges. His life is gone over a decision, a mistake. Don't let that be you. It don't have to be something as drastic as something illegal. But every time you decide to step away from your greatness and what you want to do, you're one step closer to throwing your life away. One step closer from getting a college diploma to being the guy or the young lady inside of McDonald's handing me an order. One step closer to, you know what, instead of you autographing sneakers, you bringing sneakers for somebody else to try on. This neighborhood been the same for the last 25 years, the same people on the block. The people who I was on the block before them, they still there or they in jail. Y'all actually have a blessing. It ain't easy. It ain't supposed to be. Because our story ain't gonna get changed unless we change it. Why you think you feel all that pressure? We all know y'all got the desire to be greater. Embrace it. Accept it. Instead of walking with your friends when it's time to, pop off on the op, nah, I'm good. It's so hard to say no and so easy to say yes. But the no's become easier when you accept your greatness. I want to leave y'all with this. Tupac once said, I don't see myself as being such special. I see myself as having more responsibility than the next man. People look to me to do things for them, to have answers. So I want to challenge everybody in here, because I'm speaking to mothers, fathers, daughters, nephews, uncles, aunts, grandparents, grandchildren. I'm speaking to servicemen, servicewomen, students, athletes. Everybody have a purpose. My vision for the world is a community where everybody operates in love, pursues their passion passionately, not afraid to walk outside of their door, because they know that God and their neighbors and their families and their community got them. But it can only start if we accept our greatness and step into our power. Jason, Mac, I'm so grateful for y'all. I honestly commend y'all. Continue doing what y'all do. And to all the partners that's a part of this, thank you for actually being willing to change the narrative that exists. I love y'all. Thank you.